I'm gonna smash the town! No, you're not! I'm gonna stop you! I'm gonna call Dragonzord! Oh, hi. I'm Jeremy. You probably know me from Destroy All Podcasts, or maybe from other videos I've made. Today I'm talking about this guy here. This is the Legacy Dragonzord. Here, look at the screen. It is a new toy based on the old TV show Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from 1993, which was in turn based on the Japanese show from 1992, Dinosaur Sentai, or, well, I guess Dinosaur Task Force Zyuranger, if you like, Beast Ranger, that's what that means. Anyway, this is equally good as a toy for Power Rangers or for Zyuranger. The detail on it is really nice, much better than the original. It's got a lot of sculpted detail and paint. None of these are stickers, it's like painted on. You can see there's sculpted, painted, same thing up here. Even this little bit here is sculpted, and it looks really pretty great. It's also a lot heavier than the original one because a lot of it is die-cast metal. So this right here, this foot, pretty much all die-cast. The knee part here, this is all die-cast too. Same thing on this side. The sort of hip portion here, except for this crotch piece, is all die-cast. And also this sort of chest part when it combines to the Dragonzord in battle mode, and also the sort of shoulders in the regular Dragonzord mode, that's metal too. It's also a lot more posable than the original one, mostly because of the tail. See, it's got this cool tail flex thing going on here. It's also got way more segments than the original. I think the original only had 3 segments and it was totally immobile. So this is a lot longer and you can wiggle it around and offend your parents. The arms are also slightly more posable. You've got this kind of action here, this kind of action here, up, down, twist the wrist. Oh, plus you can swap out the wrists. Right now I've got the transform wrists, which are also the missile launcher wrists, but you can do this number here, and now he can sort of give you a handshake, give you a hand job, you know. Switch that back, but there's definitely a set of replaceable hands for both parts. Yeah, not too hard getting them on either. Pretty cool. I think that in addition to increased posability, there's also way better detail, and everything is really painted and beautiful. I don't know how well it comes out in the video, but there's kind of like sparklies on the bottom of the feet in the paint. It looks really quite nice. It does lack the electronics of the original toy. In the original one, this part here, these were like little LEDs, and it would go. It was kind of annoying actually, and to be totally honest, I don't really like electronics in my toys, so I don't have a problem with it. I'd rather have big chunks of die-cast metal than a little bleepy electronic thing and LED lights. But, you know, your mileage may vary there. The original toys, not really. I mean, I guess it's not a huge improvement in terms of posability on the feet because it can just kind of go like that. It's detented, so it does stay in the pose you put it in, but there's only kind of 2 states. Also worth mentioning, this pops out. This is a Zord Builder joint. You can use it on any of these Zord Builder compatible toys, so any of your modern Gosei Greats or Legendary Megazords or whatever. Same thing here, actually. This is a Zord Builder joint, or a Zord Builder joint in the back here. So I don't know if there's going to be a lot that will tolerate this big flat piece here, but you could plug in a leg from another Zord in the back here if you want to. Also worth mentioning that for the first time ever, the head has got a working mouth. The original toy, it was kind of like either the jaw was down and the face was exposed, or it was kind of up a little bit, but you couldn't really do this like talking John kind of action. As before, this little fin thing up here, definitely meant to be adjusted for different modes. I will say that the Zord Builder peg sticking out of the back here is probably a little bit unsightly, but you hardly notice it, and I don't really have an issue with it. Okay, shall we transform this guy? So first you kind of yank off the tail and then kind of stand him up. Now, you need to like separate his hips, and oops, and I totally launched out this part. This center chest piece definitely comes out, and it's supposed to do that, but you could probably do it without throwing it at your camera like I just did. So seal the legs back up. Now you want to put the hands in here. They sort of bend in, and then like that. And you just pop this part out and sort of swing her around and lock it in. Push down the Dragonzord face there, and looking pretty good. I think the head is meant to be like this for the Dragonzord in battle mode. Okay, now here's the part that's slightly complicated. The knee parts here bend up, and then there's this bit that comes out here, and you sort of bend this in here, and that's kind of it. I know it looks like this is meant to lock down here, but it doesn't really want to, and when you get it down in there, it sort of pushes the metal knee out of joint, so you sort of just rest it there, and that tends to work pretty well. On the other side, though, this leg likes to pop out more, so be more careful about that. It stays sometimes, but you know, if you're not moving it around much, it probably won't matter, but it is possible for it to pop out. Now, you're going to need your Legacy Megazord or your 2010 Dino Megazord if you want to combine it and make this mode. So you're basically just talking about putting in the Triceratops and the Saber-Tooth Tiger. I'm not sure which one is meant to go on left and which is meant to go on right in the actual TV show, but for the toy it's interchangeable. I guess I'll take off these paws. You don't need the whole mammoth, you just really need the arm parts because there's not really anything to do with the trunk. Well, I guess you could leave it in shield mode, but I don't think you ever really use that in a TV show like that. So get them shoulders up here, and they sort of just clamp in on the sides, and that's basically it for the Megazord or the Dragonzord in battle mode, except for the spear. So first thing you do, take the tail, line up all the joints, kind of pop it together. Okay, makes it slightly smaller. Then you get out that chest piece here, and the original toy couldn't do this, but just pop that guy open, and there is another Zord Builder hole in here, and you just plug the Zord Builder peg in. Bam, that's it. So it's pretty long, but there's another component, which is kind of a stand. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, here's the stand. It looks pretty much like the original one, but it's slightly different shape and slightly different size. Worth noting that the legs here are not all the same length. Like these two match and these two match, but these two are shorter. It definitely leans when you have it combined, and I'm pretty sure that's by design, but it's sort of annoying if you wanted to make it just stand on its own. It won't really do that. It just kind of wants to lean back like this. Now there is a panel here that reveals a peg for the Dragonzord to hold it. Pull that up closer so you can see. Now the original toy had like a goofy little arm that it attached with, and that was really kind of crappy, and this is a much better solution. So you just kind of put the peg in the hand here, and it's meant to sort of rock into place, so it holds pretty steadily as long as Dragonzord himself is holding it, and it looks good. This is a good way for you to display your Legacy Megazord and your Dragonzord, Legacy Dragonzord, on your toy shelf if you're that sort of person. But if you want to play with it, if you have kids and you want your kids to play with it, you're probably going to find some problems with this big bulky drill thing getting in the way. Now in the TV show he did use the drill to like stab monsters and stuff. I could probably grab Goldar here again. But the truth is it's really cumbersome, and you're very likely to find your Megazord dropping it. So I'm going to just take that out of his hand for now and take it off screen. Okay. Now we come to probably the most painful transformation. So, okay, we're pretty much undoing everything we just did. So we pull off the legs, we pull off the arms, and we grab your T-Rex from the Legacy Dragonzord. We take the T-Rex, put his legs in, and put his tail up, put his arms up, open up his chest, put his T-Rex head in the chest, but you're going to need to open that chest back up in a minute so don't get too attached to that position. Okay, bend his legs up like this. Okay, now we've got stomps going. Put on the legs. Okay, then we're going to put the arms on. Lock that in the back, lock it in on the sides. Okay. So now we got the basics. Don't bother locking the tail in because you're going to have to put Dragonzord pieces over it. Also, don't bother putting on the pterodactyl because you're going to put pieces on that too. Okay, so back to the Dragonzord. You're going to open up the chest. Move this guy out of the way here. Separate the hips. Go like this. Now be aware that because there are big heavy die-cast chunks on both sides of this piece, both up here and on the sides here, you're going to want to be pretty careful about dangling it. Chances are, I feel like this might break the plastic joints here because there's big heavy die cast on the sides and there's little plastic on the joints on the top, and I just feel like that's asking for trouble. But I've yet to have any problems, but still, I think it's asking for trouble. Let me move this jaw back up here. There's also a little peg in the, or a little like flap out clip here, I guess. You want to flip that out of your way. Also be aware that under here are little flip out clips for connecting to the shoulders. It's easy to miss, and I've seen people do videos on YouTube showing how to transform this and they miss that part. Probably you're going to want to get the head part on first before you do that though. So you just kind of bring it over here. And, oh, right, I got to open up the chest. Definitely open this part. You will never get it to lock down unless you open this part, and a lot of people miss that. So you just sort of jam it on there, and let's put these down. It kind of goes down a little further than you would think it would. And then you can kind of pull these clips down and put them in these little grooves. It's probably impossible to see the grooves here, but I'll put close-ups in the text review with the pictures there. But it kind of locks in like that. It's not all the way in there, is it? Give me 1 second. Yeah, okay, so this is also hard to see, but there's this little red lip on the regular Megazord head, and these little black bits need to go over the red lip, and then you can lock it up. And once it's locked up, then you can put the pterodactyl chest on. Still not getting it. What am I doing wrong? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Now we're going to bring these legs up here. I'll show you from this side too. Okay. In the back, I'm going to turn it around so you can see. In the back, this little thingy here and the tail connect together. And so the tail locks in there, but not so great. Try that again from this angle. There it goes. Okay. Now this is pretty much your Mega Dragonzord. You should be aware that the Mega Dragonzord is most definitely top heavy. If you try and leave this alone on your shelf for a while, I feel like there's a pretty decent chance this sucker is going to fall over. Now, I did have it set up in the full Ultrazord mode on my shelf for a while, and after a day, it did lean, and eventually fell completely. You might be okay without the Titanus part. It might stand up, but it might not. If you were using the 2010 Dino Megazord instead of the Legacy Megazord, I can almost guarantee it's going to fall because at least there's a little diecast here kind of counterbalancing it. But I really wish that these lower legs here were made out of diecast so it would be more stable. But part of this is just the design itself from the TV show, so there's not much you can do about that. Okay, so let's do the full Ultrazord. Let me take this out of the way for a second. Okay, here's Titanus. I've already prepared him, except for this chest piece here. So, normally these guns are his tail and all of that, but I'm assuming you know that part. I'm also not going to cover the mix and match part where you can make Ranger figures with it because, hey, that's not what we're talking about. So, okay, first thing you probably want to do is yank off this black part. It doesn't want to come out. Lost a gun. Wow, it was never this hard to get out before. Well, be prepared to wrestle with it, I guess. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so it just kind of yanks out of the front of the door, but the door's a little wobbly, so it makes it a little hard to get leverage. Okay, so this bit here is going to go on the chest. Get this guy back up here. The chest of the Mega Dragonzord just sort of snaps on over the pterodactyl part. Looks good. Get out of the way again. Okay. Next, Titanus's feet. Put them on the. Get this out of the way. Put them on the Mega Dragonzord as well. Now, I don't think it matters which hand goes on which side, but there's definitely a little circle spot here, and inside here you can see there's a little black bit that connects to it. It just sort of clamps over it. It's not that sophisticated, but it works. Should get the shoulders down. Okay, so really the last thing to do is put it in Titanus. Now, Titanus has a little panel in the back. You have to open this up. Yep, okay. Titanus has a little panel in the back that opens up. Looks like this. It is further back than in the TV show or the original toy. Where you just kind of maneuver his feet in. And that's... Whoops, there it goes. See, I told you it was going to fall over. Yeah, it definitely is a little wobbly. This isn't quite done though, because this front piece here has to open up and the head goes down a little in the Titanus. And this is probably going to be hard to show you, but you take the tail off this piece here, the chest piece, and you also pull the bottom part off, and you end up with, oh yeah, lock that in there, close it down, put the tag away, but you end up with the chest thing, and this is designed perfectly to sit, just kind of rest in the front there. So it looks like that. It's just resting there. It's definitely like hollow and open, where in the original toy it's a big old block that it sort of joins into. But it works. It does hold that piece in there. It stays in place pretty well. I would say that the whole thing is a little bit on the rickety side, but it's mostly on the rickety side because of the die cast in the combined Mega Dragonzord mode. The diecast from the Legacy Dragonzord kind of makes it too top heavy. So what I'm hoping for is I really hope that when they make the Legacy Titanus, which they're going to do, they've already shown a prototype of it at a toy show. When they redesign it, I hope that they design some kind of clip to hold the feet in place so it's less likely to fall over. Like, I think falling over is kind of inevitable, but hopefully it'll be better than this one. But, you know, this doesn't have the motorization of the original toy, so isn't going to be cruising around, and, you know, it's not going to toss itself off like it might if it were motorized. So I'm not too worried about it, but like I said, I did have kind of, not a shelf dive, but it just sort of lurched over in the front like you saw it do just a second ago when I was making the video. So be aware of that. I do think that the Ultrazord combination looks pretty cool, but we're talking about a fundamentally goofy design. It always kind of looks silly in the show, and it looks silly here, but I'm really glad that the toy can do all of this. Now, if I'm going to compare it to the original toy, I'm going to say that the original toy had a more stable combination, and I'm going to say that the Titanus is definitely better in the original toy. But there are some nice things about the Mix and Match Titanus, namely a lot of painted detail. Not as much as the Legacy Dragonzord, which has great painted detail, but it does have stickers which are accurate to the TV show, and you know, you can kind of see them here. They look pretty good. I really hope that the Legacy Titanus has all of this stuff painted on and maybe additional molded detail like the Legacy Dragonzord. It would also be great if they gave us more articulation. Like, this head is pretty much static. I wish that the head moved. I wish that the mouth moved like the original one. I think it also had a neck joint in there. I only ever had the original Dragonzord and the pieces from the Megazord to make the Dragonzord battle mode, so I never had the full Ultrazord combo. But I've played with a Titanus, and I've played with the original Deluxe Megazord, so I mean, I have an idea of what it's like. I think that for me as a adult with toy collection, I totally prefer this to the original one because I love the diecast and I love the paint and I love the detail work, and I think it looks better. I hope that the Titanus, the Legacy Titanus that is forthcoming, will fix some of my quibbles here. Like, I really wish that this there he goes again. I really wish that this front bit held in better there, but, you know, them's the breaks, really. Not literally, though, because even though it keeps bending over, it hasn't really been damaged. It's just sort of clumsy, because I think that when they designed both the when they designed the Mix and Match Titanus and they designed the 2010 Dino Megazord, I'm pretty sure that they also designed the Legacy Dragonzord then. It just was it never came out in that line. I'm pretty sure it was meant to, though. But if this were all plastic, I don't think it'd be falling over. But I do like the diecast a lot. And I don't know, I guess it's weird for me to say it would work better with less diecast, but I kind of think that it would. But as a dinosaur, just in the dragon mode, without all this other crap on, it's super great, and I love it with its diecast, and I love it with its wobbly tail. And, whoops, knocking stuff over. Unlike the majority of Sentai figures from that era, I think that I prefer these separate modes over the combined modes. Well, I guess I prefer the Legacy Megazord in its combined mode, but I definitely prefer the Dragonzord solo without all the other crap stuck on it. And, you know, the full Ultrazord combo is kind of always been dorky looking, and I don't know, it's not my favorite. But it's cool that the toy can still do all of the modes. And I'll just pull this guy off here. Yep, okay. You see what I mean about how this added weight is making it flop around, and you're sort of at risk for crashing these parts together every time you disconnect it, which I've done over and over on accident. So, you know, it's tough for me to give it an unequivocal thumbs up because of the little bit of issues that you have with the transformation and, well, staying together in the full combined mode. There it is. I was looking for his chest piece. But all of that aside, this does a really great job of updating the original Dragonzord toy, or if you prefer the original Dragon Kaiser or Dragon Caesar. I'm never sure which way they go with that. think it's Dragon Caesar. Okay, I'm going to put his tail back on. Fix up the knees. Yeah, I think this is really great. The combined mode is a little bit rickety, like I say, but just the Dragonzord on its own is totally awesome, and you know, that's what I wanted anyway. I wanted a really good Dragonzord, and I probably would have been okay if they had done like a Super Robot Shogokin non-transforming, just superposable one, but I'm also really glad for this guy here, for the Legacy Dragonzord, even if the full combined mode is a little rickety. I definitely like the Dragonzord in his dragony mode, and he's like the perfect size to punch it out with the old evil space aliens from the original 1993 Power Rangers line. And I'm not sure if these ever actually came out in Japan, by the way, but they're still pretty cheap to get on eBay, and it's just really good for fighting them, and they can wrestle. Rawr, rawr, rawr. So if you like Power Rangers, or if you like Zyuranger, you want to go Japanese style, I give this Dragonzord here a strong recommendation, with the caveat that the combined mode is not the most impressive thing in the world. Okay, I guess that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to post comments either on my text review on CollectionDX.com or on the YouTube channel, and I'll try and respond to them. And if you have suggestions on things that you'd like me to do a video review on, let me know. I'm planning to do video reviews on all of these old 8-inch or 9-inch, however tall they are, evil space alien figures, because I got all of the original, the first wave ones, all the ones that appeared in the Zyuranger footage anyway, and they're really cool and a lot of fun, even if they're just kind of soft vinyl monster guys. But I think that soft vinyl monsters fighting with big die-cast robots is really one of the joys of Japanese toys. Okay, that's it. Thanks very much. This is Jeremy, out.